Good morning. Just open this while everyone flies in. I can see a few people joining us. I'll just leave this here while you're all coming in. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining this morning on this bright, very bright Thursday morning here in Manchester, which is good. I'll give it a couple of minutes because I know people might be rushing around. Before we get started, you will need, if you're ready to get interactive and make the most of the session, you will need a pen and paper if you've got one to hand, just so you can write out your goals and how you're going to get there and all the development stuff that you're here for. So if you can grab a pen and some paper and a brew, totally up to you, that's optional. Grab yourself a coffee, pen and paper, and we'll get started in a couple of minutes just while everybody is flying in. And again, thank you for joining. I feel like while we're waiting, we need one of the, remember the BBC kind of buffering screen with the girl holding the creepy doll or something like that while they wait for the program to come on. I feel like we need one of those now, or at least some music. I should have brought a band with me. I'll just give it a few more minutes. We have got quite a few people signed up today. So I'll get started in 2 or 3 minutes. So as I said, pen, paper, coffee, tea is optional. If you're on the hard stuff, go for it as well. And we're going to get going. The session will be fairly interactive in a sense of you're going to be writing stuff down. You're going to have time to fill bits in. The idea is that you leave this session in 55 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever, however long you can stay for, with hands-on work that you can implement in your life. So some actual takeaways from the session. Now, obviously, this is a webinar where it's just me and I can see a few people flying in. Please feel free to pop stuff in the chat box. You're more than welcome to say hi, or in the Q&A if you want to ask any questions. We will do a brief question and answer session at the end. So if anyone does have any questions, please feel free just to pop it in there and just let me know, and I'll make sure that I can get to them. Or if you just want to say hi, feel free to say hi. I'll give it 1 more minute and then we'll get going. I'm just going to share my screen because that seems like the done thing on Zoom. Hopefully you can all see that. Just an enlarged picture of my head. So today's session is all about revisiting your personal development plans. So if any of you have managed to join one of the webinars that I've hosted before, we look a lot at mindset, we look a lot at development and personal development. Now this is all brought to you via the Spark project with Bruntwood, which is a free program for you to be able to get resources, get training, and just for your own personal development. That is at Bruntwood/Spark. I will also be doing a session on the, I've written it down here, 25th of May, about managing a blended workforce. So feel free, if you enjoy what we go through today, we're going to be doing managing a blended workforce on the 25th of May. And that's where we're going to be talking about mindset, which I know is a really hot topic at the moment. Mindset, your values, your business and your personal, working from home. So if some of your guys or you yourself are half in the office, half at home, or an amalgamation of those things, how we can work on that to make sure you're just as productive at home. So we're going to go through all of these things, and that's on the 25th of May at 12 o'clock. And you can register at the Bruntwood/Spark website. So that's the admin done. Let's get cracking. Revisiting your personal development plans. Today, we are going to be taking ownership of your personal and professional development. So with personal development, it can be partly your career, but it can also be your personal life. And we're going to come on to that as well. So just a bit about who I am, if you've not met me before. I am Kathy. I'm a personal development and communications coach. I'm based here in Manchester, sunny Stockport at the moment. But as the pandemic has taught us, we are online everywhere. We do a lot of, and I do a lot of corporate coaching, so one-to-one personal development and communication sessions, as well as within companies, so in-house. A lot of public speaking and presenting training, because my background is as a professional actor and a singer, which we won't be doing today. There's no musicals today, don't worry. And I also work as a voice rehabilitation and voice coach. So if anyone wants to become the next Barry White, give me a message. And today, this is our plan of action. First of all, just so you've got a rough idea, and this is why I really want you to get your pen and paper ready, we're going to explore your personal and professional life balance, identify areas to develop. We're then going to look at the ideal outcome that you want. Interesting, sounds very, very obvious, but often we know there's something not slightly imbalanced, but we don't know what we're actually looking for. And if we haven't got a vision or we don't know how that will feel, we can really go off piece sometimes. Now, third, we're going to explore your resources and hurdles that might come up, because it's really, really useful to know where the barriers are going to come up and to be able to work around them. Then we're going to make a plan. You're going to make your own step-by-step guide with options for changing things if those hurdles come up, if we can't get around them. And then finally, and my favorite bit, we're going to look at the mindset behind it all, get you mentally ready. There's a load of buzz around the idea of imposter syndrome. I'm going to give you my thoughts and theories on that one at the moment. And we're going to get your mindset tuned to welcoming the challenge, so that if you do come across any hurdles, any problems, you're going forward with that with a real growth mindset and ready to progress. Grab your pen and paper, grab your coffee, let's get going. So first of all, I don't know how many of you might have seen this before, the wheel of life, cliche as it sounds. So all I want you to do for me, take a few seconds. The reason that I've popped this in a wheel is just for the stereotype of it's called a wheel of life. If that visual doesn't work for you and you don't want to write it in a wheel, write it in a list, whatever works for you. But the idea here is I would like you to write in each segment or on each line of your paper an area of your life that is important to you. So if we cut you down the middle, what are you made up of? So it could be career, family, friends, health, fitness, hobbies, relationships, social, whatever makes you, you. And it'll be different for everybody, religion, spirituality, whatever that might be. I'd like you to write down your wheel of life. So what makes you? Now, the reason we do this is because I often find people coming to me with problems with their careers, or they're struggling at work, things like that. As soon as we do the wheel of life, we break down each section of their lives and we look at career, and we'll get chatting. And a lot of the time they'll say to me, well, do you know what? My career is actually great. I'm really enjoying work. And then we look at the wheel of life and it's other areas that are causing the problem. And it's just happening to come out in a work environment. So we're going to look at the areas that you are ready to develop. So each segment or on each line, I want you to put part of your life or something that makes up you into this. When you've done that, I'd like you to rate it, which is a little bit brutal, isn't it? Thursday morning, rate your happiness. I'd like you to rate from 1 to 10, 1 being not great, 10 being absolutely cracking, satisfaction, each area. So how are things relationship-wise? How do you find your career? Finances, education, if that's important, wealth, health, fitness, whatever it might be that's important to you. How is that going at the moment? 1 to 10. Take a few minutes just to get through that exercise. So we're just looking at each area of your life, and we're just going to give that a little rate, which again, when you say it out loud, sounds a little bit brutal, doesn't it? So just getting those bits down for me. And as I say, if anyone has any questions, feel free just to pop it in the Q&A or into the chat section, and we can hit those as we go along. So we're just assessing each area of your happiness and development. Now, obviously, this is brought to you through a work platform. However, I want you to use this time to focus on you. So that might be career. You might be going through your career now. You might be looking at from a personal side. So let's just have a look at that. So once you've got that done, let's move on. Looking at your wheel, which were the 3 lowest scoring areas on that wheel? Now, was there anybody, feel free again to mention it, was there anybody who got a bit of a shock there and thought, wow, okay, I didn't realize that that wasn't as great, something that might have been at the back of your mind? So what were the 3 lowest scoring areas on your wheel? And I just want you to pick one. So which one would you like to focus on first? Now, by increasing this area's score, how will it impact your life? So let's say, for an example, that you've got your wheel and you've put your fitness or your health is at the lowest. By increasing that, how will it impact your life? Now, right now, if you're looking at an area and you're thinking, well, if I increased it right now, it's not really going to impact my life right now at all, leave that one. Let's come on to something that's going to really impact your life now. So health and fitness, if it's really low and you're feeling a little bit naff about it, by increasing that score, how will that affect your life? More energy, happier, more confident, play with the kids more energized at work, less tired, sleep better, whatever that might be for you. How would increasing that area impact your life for the benefit? And then I want you to tell me what an ideal outcome would look like. So what would the ideal situation look like? And again, feel free to jot any of this down. What would the ideal outcome look like? So for those that have just joined us, I'll just skip back so you can see it. We're looking at the Wheel of Life, and it is each segment, or you're just writing out every area of your life that's important to you. So I've popped here, hobbies, outdoor, fitness, career, finances, wealth, whatever that might be. And you're just going to rate it 1 to 10. Once you've done that, which were the lowest scoring areas? Which would you like to focus on first? And how will increasing that impact your life for the better? What would the ideal outcome look like for that area? So just as a really basic one, because just obviously I can't see you guys, so I don't know what you all do career-wise. Something health and fitness, let's go with. What would the ideal outcome look like? How would that feel? What would it look like? So it's not just a case of, well, I'd go to the gym. Okay, tell me more. What would it look like? Well, on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday, I would do this. I would change this part. Let's make it really, really clear now so we know what we're actually aiming for. Does this bring any negative impact? Now, this is really, really important. Let's say that you are a family person, man, woman, whatever, and you're saying to me, health and fitness, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. Does this bring any potential negative impact? Is it going to change the time that you spend at home? Is it going to alter when the housework gets done? Is it going to mean the school run changes? Is it going to compromise time with your other half? So what impact will this ideal outcome have? We have to be aware of it. Doesn't mean we can't do it, but the moment we're aware of it, it brings us to the questions a little bit later on. So what's the ideal outcome? Does it bring any negative impact or any impact that you need to probably work around? Now, what's holding you back from this right now? So if I said to you, okay, well, why aren't you doing it right now? Well, you might say, I'm tired. I can't be bothered. I haven't got time. Okay, let's get those written out. If it's a work area, if it's a career, what's holding you back from going for that promotion, from setting up your own business? What's holding you back? Let's write that down. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. I told you, you needed a coffee this morning. I want you to be brutally honest. What do you believe is holding you back right now? Finances. What is it? If it's something like, I really miss going and sitting in a pub with my friends, what's holding you back? Well, COVID. So that's kind of understandable. So just being really aware of what's holding you back. Because once you write it out, it becomes a little bit more manageable. When it's in our heads, it becomes a problem. Once we write it out, we can see the problem and think, okay, from an external point of view, how do I solve this? Now, what resources do you have available to help you achieve this? So what do you believe is holding you back? It might be time. Okay, well, what resources do you have available to help you achieve your goal? Time management wise, a coach? Do you need to look at, childcare for your children? Do you want to look at hiring somebody in to help you with something? Even resources do you have available? Friends. Do you have friends and family that you can call on? Again, let's go back to the obvious one of fitness. Do you have a friend or a couple of friends that always go to the gym? And if you went with them, you've got a bit more accountability. What other resources do you have? So we're looking at everything. I want you to really dig deep here. Who's around? What's around? Daft as it sounds, the internet. You've got so many resources on there. Is it a program you need? Is it that you don't know how to do something? Okay, what resource do you have to learn how to do that, to learn that skill? So what resources do you have available to help you achieve this? This is also links in slightly to the growth mindset. So if you're sat there thinking, well, I've got nothing, there's a chance we might have slipped into a bit of a fixed mindset, and that's absolutely fine. Now imagine your friend is telling you this. So if you're struggling with this question, imagine you talking to your friend and your friend saying, I really want to do this, but I don't know how to do it. We are fantastic at giving other people advice. For us, we might just stop it. I really want to do this, but I can't stop because we've got all these limitations. If you're talking to a friend, we help solving their problems. We like to help them and like to work around it for them. So if you are struggling with this, take it out of you and imagine you're chatting to a friend. So what would they have available? How could you help them? And what conversations need to be had? And this is a really, really interesting one, because at the end of the day, any form of personal development, it is personal. But if you're in a household or a working environment with other people and your actions, be that an hour longer lunch, be that going to the gym on an evening, be that quitting your job and setting up your own business, what conversations need to be had with your other half? What changes are going to happen that unless we communicate them, they're going to be a shock? You might be fully prepared, but if you haven't communicated this to other people, you might experience pushback or problems. So what conversations need to be had in order for you to reach your goal? Remember, it's your goal, it's your personal development goal, but the support in numbers, the more people you get on board, let them know the idea, talk to them about that, feel their support, then the easier it's going to be. So we've looked at your wheel of life. We've looked at the lowest areas. Again, great way to start Thursday. Let's look at what you're after. Is it doable? What are the potential problems? What's holding you back? How can we work around it? That's what we're asking here. Now, I did ask you to look at three lowest areas. Once you've done one of these, and this is with the whole webinar, and it will be uploaded to YouTube later. Once you've done one, go back and do it for your others. Why stop at one? Let's get you absolutely thriving. So let's go back and look individually at each area in each segment. And it might just be a little one. It might be something that you scored on your wheel of life as 7, but you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I'd love for that to be a bit more. Let's go through this. So that's your outcome planning. So now you know what you want, you know what's potentially holding you back and what resources are available. That's going to be an important one. So let's work out what you have and what you need. A lot of the time we believe when we're trying to achieve a goal, when we're trying to move forward, progress in any form of development, we believe that it's an absolute alien concept. So if you look at people that have set up their own businesses or ran marathons or done something which for you is kind of like, oh my goodness, that's a step really out of my comfort zone, but that's what you're wanting to do. Now, it might not be something so massive. It might be a relationship. I'd love for my relationship to be better. Okay, cool. This is important. It's what's important to you. What skills do you have already that will help you reach that goal? So I want you to imagine you're writing down your own CV from a personality point of view. Are you personable? Are you great in conversation? If your goal, a lot of people I speak to want to be doing LinkedIn videos, they want to be pushing themselves out there more on social media for the business, for the company, for their own personal brand. What skills, although that might feel terrifying, what skills do you definitely have already that will help you reach that? Are you confident? Are you likable? Do you get on with people? Are you quite a good judge of character? What's your networking like? Are you a great salesperson? Time management, that's definitely my weakness. How's your time management? How's your organization? A really interesting one I find here. How's your delegation? Because remember, if you're moving one of these numbers up on your wheel of life, there's a chance that something might have to give. And within give, we might mean just delegate. So how's that? How do you find that? Do you find that quite difficult? Or do you find it really easy? So just write down, in terms of your goal, what skills do you have? So let's go back to the really obvious one that I keep using as an example, health and fitness. What skill do I definitely have that's going to help me reach my health and fitness goal? You might say organization. You'll plan it in your diary. You are also very driven. So once you've got a goal, you're very driven. Accountable. You're really, really accountable. So what skills do you already have that you might not be tapping into because it seems like such an alien goal or something so far away? A relationship. What skills do you have? Are you quite calm? Are you calming? Are you inviting? Do people feel naturally relaxed around you and able to talk? At work, if you're trying to set up a business, ask for a promotion, push yourself further. What skills do you already have? Are you a really hard worker? Secondly, what do you need to reach it? So what do you actually need extra to reach the goal? Is it time? Is it a bigger network if it's for work? Is it technology? Is it a coach? Is it systems? Is it accountability? Is it clients? What do you actually need to reach the goal? And I want you to really think about that, because we often think that we need all of these things. Well, I have to have a website in place. I have to have this in place. I have to have my branding in place. Do you? Or is it best to just get started? There was a nice little analogy in a phrase that I saw from a coach a while ago that said, ready, fire, aim. Feel free to write that down. It's really, really useful. I kind of share it with all my clients. Ready, fire, aim. Because if you go ready, aim it again. Oh, the goalposts changed. Let's aim it again. Oh, maybe can't. Oh, that's just come up. I can't. I'll aim it again. We're never going to go. Whereas if you just take that leap, push yourself out there, you'll navigate as you go. Turn up to the gym. You're there. Right, cool. Ready, fire, you're at the gym. Right, now let's navigate my way around here. Now I'm here. So what do you need to reach the goal? And then similarly as last time, what resources do you have? So you know what you need now. You've written down what you need to achieve this goal. If it's time, what resources do you have? Delegation, time management, speaking to your other half about childcare or support or whatever that might be, chatting to your boss, seeing if we're all on the same wavelength, if we're on the same page. Do you need to do more research? Where can you find that? Online events, webinars, workshops. I know we're all zoomed out to the eyeballs, but what else is out there for you? Videos, bits and pieces. So we're just making a really in-depth and detailed plan for your success. We need to look at the skills that you already have, because a lot of the time you'll forget. We need to look at what you need to reach it and what resources you have. Have a little think about that. I'll put this one here for you. So this is a really nice idea of the fail to prepare, prepare to fail. When we think about pushing outside of our comfort zone in terms of personal development, we naturally think about the worst case scenario. Now, and I know you'll have heard of this. You're obviously interested in bettering yourselves, your career, your personal life, whatever it is. You're obviously interested in that. Now, you will have heard of the term around being out of your comfort zone and being ostracized. So the idea, the reason that we kind of back away from pushing outside of our comfort zones goes right back to our primal states, where as tribes, we were taught to be pack animals. We were taught to stay in our packs. If you went outside of that pack, you'd potentially get eaten by a lion, you'd get chucked out of your village or out of your tribe. Then you're in danger. You're in danger in that situation. Now, I live in Stockport, so there's a high chance that I am also in danger if I get chucked out of here. But nowadays, you're not going to be in that same grave danger if you push out of your comfort zone. Yet, as soon as we think of public speaking, that's pushing away. As soon as we think of having those difficult conversations in terms of personal development with loved ones, families, bosses. We think, okay, I'm going against the grain slightly, so I could end up being completely ostracized. We make this so much bigger to protect ourselves. So what I'd like you to think about is, what is the ideal goal or the ideal outcome? So what do you want? What is the ideal goal? And it's something we're going to constantly come back to, because unless we're completely clear on this, we're stabbing in the dark, and it gets a lot more difficult to push out of your comfort zone because you don't know why you're doing it. So what is your ideal goal or your ideal outcome that you're after? And then again, just to really cheer you all up this morning, what's the worst case scenario? So what is the worst case scenario? So if you're thinking, right, well, the ideal goal is I will talk to my boss and I'll have an extra day off, or I'll have time here, or I'll take on a new project, or I'll get a promotion. Or if you're really unhappy, you can look at other departments, other businesses, other jobs, whatever that might be. What's the ideal goal? What is the absolute worst case scenario? Let's go with gym again. Ideal goal, get in shape, get fit, get whatever you want to do. What's the absolute worst case scenario? I mean, you could go to the gym and be completely stuck. You could do something wrong on the machines. You could fall off a treadmill, whatever that might be. What's the worst case scenario? The thing that you're not even playing with, but there's just something in the back of your head that's kind of going, yeah, but this could happen. If you do a presentation, what's the worst case scenario? Nobody likes it. You get the whole thing wrong. So I want you to write that down and get deep with this one, because even if to you it feels absolutely ridiculous, there'll still be something niggling there. Now, I did a presentation, oh my goodness, nearly 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, yeah, down in London for an NHS consortium down in Hounslow. And we were talking about this. And this was all pre-COVID. And I was saying to the guys, you know, what's the absolute worst case scenario? And one of the guys said to me that, well, the whole world shuts down and nobody can actually go to a doctor. And we're all laughing, thinking, oh, that's ridiculous. That'll never happen. Lo and behold, 3 months later, obviously, I'm not saying it was my fault. I'm just saying. So what is the absolute worst case scenario? Now, how can you prevent that from happening? So if it's a presentation, how can you prevent the worst case scenario? Could you run it past people? Could you get it checked? What's the worst case scenario? You're going to the gym. How can you prevent that feeling of lost or doing something wrong? If you book a PT session, book an introduction. If it's a hobby, if you're really missing that free time, what's the worst case scenario? That your friends aren't free to spend time. Okay, how can you prevent this from happening? Or maybe book a group activity, book a session at a gym where there's people there, book an outdoor walk. Have a look on meetup.com or whatever's out there at the moment, where you can go and do something that hits your goal, but it really does prevent any worst case scenarios. How can you prevent it from happening? Checking, you go back to your resources, go right back, get a coach, pay someone, get involved, invest in what you're wanting to improve, put your money where your mouth is. Now, if it happened, so if that prevention just wasn't enough for any reason, which I hope it is, if the worst case scenario happened, how could you repair it? So if it happened, if that worst outcome happened, how could you repair it? Just jot that down. Is it an apology? Is it doing something again, redoing something, trying again? Some of you will get to that question number 4 and you'll go, it wouldn't. You'll go so deep into number 3, you'll get to number 4 and think, do you know what? It actually wouldn't happen, so I don't need to repair it. Great. If the worst case scenario happened, how could you repair it? And then the last one I just want you to think about are, what are the benefits of success in the goal? Because again, unless you know how it's going to feel, and we're going to come on to this when we're looking at mindset, but if you know how good it's going to feel when you've come out that gym, when you've gained the muscle, lost the weight, or just improved your overall health and energy, what are the benefits of success? We spoke about this to start with. Keep coming back to it, otherwise you'll lose your purpose behind it. What are the benefits of success in this goal? If you talk to your boss, ask for a new project, ask to be pushed further, ask for more responsibility, what are the benefits? How will that feel? Go back to your ideal goal. Tell me what the benefits of success in that are. How are you going to feel? How is your life going to be better? And I just want you to write that down. Now, the reason I am asking you to write this down and not think about it is because once we're in here, I want you to imagine everything, and this is basically what a coach is as well, everything in your mind, all these ideas as 10 sets of iPhone headphone cables. Now, if you're anything like me, you pull out, I'm sure you've all got fancy Bluetoothy ones or anything now, but if you're old school and you've got actual cable headphones with a wire, you put 2 pairs in your pocket, that's it, game over. You might as well just bin them because you're going to spend a good day trying to unwire them. Even if you've, tied them nicely in a circle, doesn't matter. That is all of this. Everything we've done so far, all these ideas, all these worries, all of these repairs, all of these conversations, what ifs, all of that stuff, the positive, the negative, all the ideas, every single one, every tangible piece is a set of headphones. And what we've done is we've put them all in your head and we've just given your head a bit of a shake. The reason I'm asking you to write it down is because by writing it down, we're taking it out of the head and we're just getting that headphone wire nice and clear so you can deal with it. It's separate. You can look at it and go, right, what am I going to do with this now? As opposed to, oh my God, everything's in here. I can't work it out. I can't work out if I'm coming or going, especially at the moment when there's so much change with COVID, with work from home, with families, with schools, whatever it is. There's so much change. Unless you take the time to unravel each set of headphones, sit them down and go, right, what am I doing here? Get it all written out, get it out of your mind onto the page, then we can deal with it. So that's why I always really push for people to get things written down. Now, fill in the blanks. I've put here, top tip, imagine you are helping a friend map it out, purely because it's very easy to tell someone what to do. So you've got your goal, you know what you want, right? We've spoken about that. You know what the outcome will feel like. Now, it can feel like a massive jump from where we are right now to the ideal outcome. So what is the first thing that you can do today, now, in the next 2 hours? What is the first step that you need to take in order to get to the goal? So this little blanks, and I'm happy if anyone wants to message me after LinkedIn or drop me an email, I can send you the slides so you can fill this in. But what is the first step you need to take to get to your goal? We always think of the end. We always think of, oh, I need this, I need a website, I need this, I need all of these things. What's the first thing? Do you need to blank out a bit of time in your diary to write this all out? Maybe this is a bit of a whistle-stop tour and you need an hour to be able to really go through this again. Blank it out in your diary. Do you need to make sure you have that time with your other half? Do you need to book a table at a restaurant today, outside, for a drink where you just talk through things? What is it you want? What is the first thing? Do you need to download the Pure Gym app? What's the first thing that you can do right now that's going to get you one step closer? So this is one way of doing it. I'll give you 2 options. Some people, I personally do as well, I like going step by step. So you think, okay, once I've done that, then what would I do? Well, I'd sign up to whatever. Okay. Now, once I'd done that, what would I do? I'd book a meeting with my boss. Okay. Now, once I'd do that, what would I do? So we're then just making steps. And again, I've put here, imagine you're telling a friend, because it is sometimes easier to look at it from an external and think bigger picture. The other way of doing it is working backwards. So it's a post-mortem. So imagine you've reached the end goal. So going back, how would it feel? How would it feel when you achieved your goal, your personal development goal? How would that feel? What was the last thing you did before you felt that? So we're almost working backwards. Instead of working around this way, we're working backwards. You've achieved your goal. Imagine you've achieved it. What was the last thing you did before you achieved it? And what was the bit before that? And what was the bit before that? So we're just working like a backward hopscotch to get you to now. So you've got a step-by-step process, and really break this down into tiny chunks. And we're going to come on to why in a minute. But I want you to break it down into really manageable chunks, because at the end of the day, you are all on this call because you're affiliated with Spark Project, with Bruntwood, you're all working. There's work, there's a lot of stuff we're all juggling at the moment. If I said to you, right, you've now got all of this to do, off you go. What? And run a family and a home and a job and change all the change that's going on at the moment. No, step by step, break it down. What's something you could do that would be really easy? if it's LinkedIn, if you want to push yourself out there a little bit further, what's the first thing you could do? If you want to do a video, what's the first thing? You could research what platform, what streaming platform. If you want to set up a YouTube channel, what's the first thing you could do? Download the apps or set a camera up in your room, whatever that might be. First tiny step. Now, I absolutely love this one because that's probably my favorite quote ever. Smooth seas do not make a skillful sailor from neck deep. Those really intelligent business owners, the pop punk band, brilliant. Idea here is if everything goes really, really well, it's not going to give you the tools to manage life. So things are not always going to go to plan, believe it or not. Things will not always go to plan. You'll have that lovely plan there, but at some point hurdles are going to come up. So just jumping back to this one, if you would find it more easy and more recognizable for your life, fill in the blanks, and then at each part, pop in a possible hurdle. So let's say, between 1 and 2, there's a potential hurdle here for time. Right, how are you going to manage it? Get around it this way. So if you want to put your hurdles in, pop them in this bit here, and that you've always got a workaround or an amalgamation. Now, this is for when the days don't go to plan. So when you have those days and you're thinking, you know what, it wasn't great today, I don't want you to fold. I don't want you to give in and just kind of melt. These are 4 questions that are a great idea at the end of the day. And again, it's ideal to write them down, but if you've just got to fill them in on your phone, whatever that might be, why are you doing this? Go back to your goal. Why are you doing it? Why is it important? Go back, because on the days where you feel a bit naff, you're tired, you can't be bothered, things haven't gone to plan, remember why you are doing it. And if you think of all the greats, all you great successful business owners, professionals, sports people, musicians, things won't have always gone to plan. They have to remember how it's going to feel like when they reach that success. And that's why you're doing it. So why are you doing it? What do you want? A better life for yourself, for your family, happiness, achievement? What is it? Why are you doing it? Even if the day didn't go to plan, what were 3 wins that you still had? So what are 3 things that did go well? Now, if you're struggling, did you make a cracking coffee first thing? Write it down. And again, I'll explain why later, but we need to be tuning our brains for the win. Because if we get a hurdle, if we get a bump in the road or a little setback, we don't want to be folding. We want to be thinking, okay, that's happened, but, and this has worked really well today. So what are 3 wins? Let's see if we can have a win in the negative. So what didn't go to plan? But what was great because of that? Did you really have your first open, honest conversation with your boss that you've never had before? Did you push out of your comfort zone? You didn't get the result you wanted, but you did it. You managed to speak openly and speak your truth. So tell me about the 3 wins that you've done. What have you learned? So what did you learn from those? Those 2 kind of stick together. What have you learned today that's going to help you? And if you are struggling, it's always nice to make sure you've got a plan for tomorrow, because going back to why you're doing this, you know what you're doing. So if you've had a day where it's just not being ideal, why are you doing it? What's gone well? What have you learned? Sack that day off. What are we doing tomorrow to get us back to that goal? Go back to your chart. Go back to all of the things we've looked at so far in the session. What are you going to do to get back on that horse tomorrow? Because as our famous pop punk powerhouse says, the smooth seas don't make the skillful sailor. This stuff is what is going to get you stronger. This is going to make you resilient. Not, oh, this went well. Oh, this went well. This stuff where things don't go to plan. You want to be embracing that. Challenges are coming when you push out of your comfort zone. Fantastic. That's how you know you're doing it. On that note, let's have a look at preparing your mind. So we've got here, talk the talk, visualization, imposter syndrome, and breath work. Now, I'm going to go through a few of these just clearer for you. So talk the talk. I would like you to discuss, to talk to your other half, to talk to people around you, as if your personal development goal has happened. So if you want to set up a business, let's say, if you're setting up a business, I want you to talk as if you're doing it already. So talk about the company. Talk about, and when people say, have you started it? Oh no, it's in the works. It's not, you're not lying, you're not making things up. I want you to talk the talk. If it's the gym, talk about it. How does it feel when you go in? How's it going to feel when you hit your goals or your targets? Now, the reason we want to be doing that is because unless you're discussing this openly and unless you're telling your mind you've got the outcome, where does it know to go? So I don't want you to focus on what you don't want. And this is a really, really interesting fact. When we focus on what we don't want or what we're trying to get away from, we're focusing on the negative. So for example, and again, I'm using this example. If I had a client and they told me they want to lose weight, they are focusing on what they don't want. So everything comes about the losing, about the negative, about getting rid of. That mindset is a mindset for almost that negativity. If we think about what you're going to gain, okay, so you want to get to a different weight or a different body composition, whatever it is for you. What are you going to gain? You want to gain health. You want to gain life. So every time you come to that leftover Easter eggs, if anyone's got any left, like we do at home, when you're looking at an Easter egg thinking, oh, I can't have that because I'm trying to lose weight. Negative. Oh, I won't have that because I'm gaining health. One of them is a lot more positive and it's gaining. So whatever your personal development goal is, if it's a business, you're not trying to, I hate my job, so I'm trying to set up a business. No, what are you gaining? Oh, I'm going to really get some flexibility in my career and in my life. Having these conversations, what are you gaining? Not, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. Okay, that's great. What do you want to feel? I don't want to be anxious every day when I go to work. Okay, well, all you're doing there is focusing on the fact that you are currently anxious. And now we're in a self-fulfilling cycle. What do you want? I want to feel confident. I want to feel vibrant. I want to feel alive. Let's focus on that. Talk the talk. Get that out there. If we focus on the negative and focus on what we don't want, our minds are just sat in that lovely little circle. And you might as well be in quicksand because you're trying to climb out, but you're just sucking yourself back in. Talk the talk, visualize it. Cliche as hell, and I'm sure you've all seen webinars on all of this stuff. It works. Visualize the outcome. So if some people use mood boards and things like that, where they actually put the pictures out of what they're after, if that works for you, do it. Another way, which personally works a bit better for me, visualize what it will look like. Take a second on a morning, sit down, close your eyes. Let's try it now if you want. Sit down, close your eyes. What's it going to look like? What's your office going to look like? Are you going to be at home more? What will it look like? Check you want it. You know, if you're saying, do you know, I really want to work from home, close your eyes. What will it look like? Oh, actually, I've got 2 kids and 3 dogs. Do I really want to be at home all the time? So that's a really nice way to check it. Visualize what you want. The moment you can see it, you've got something to work towards. Because again, unless you're forward focused and you know what you're aiming towards, you're stuck in the now, which might not be that great for you. So visualize that happiness, that relationship, that hobby, that health, that wealth, that financial freedom. What will it look like? Because then you know why you're doing it. Imposter syndrome. Here's one for you. You'll see so much stuff about imposter syndrome, how to beat it, how to overcome imposter syndrome. Here's an idea. Don't. This is my genuine theory on it. Imposter syndrome is a feeling of being completely out of your comfort zone, out of your depth. Brill. That's how you know you're progressing. So when you're walking in the room and you, oh, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. This is not for me. Or I shouldn't be here. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel vulnerable. Great. Because when you went to school in year 1, year 2, whatever, you will have felt that feeling. You've walked into somewhere where everyone knows what they're doing. The teachers know what they're doing. The year 1s, the year 2s know what they're doing. You're 4 or 5. You've got no bloody clue what's going on. You didn't know what it was then, unless you were a very intellectual child. But there's a high chance you walked in and you felt imposter syndrome and you cried, as people do, as children do. Let's talk about year 7. You've just gone to high school, secondary school, whatever you call it. Same thing. You walk in, you've got no idea where you're going. The corridors, if you're anything like me, sense of direction, shocking. Absolutely. You're walking around the corridors, no idea where you are. The year 8s know what they're doing. The year 9s do. You're the imposter. You're trying to get away with it. You're trying not to get noticed. You don't want to stick out. Imposter syndrome. Your first day at work, the job you're in now, you walked in. You didn't know how to use the coffee machine. You didn't know how the processes worked. oh, I don't really feel comfortable here yet. Imposter syndrome. Obviously, there are degrees here of severity, but what you're experiencing with imposter syndrome is being out of your comfort zone. You're on this call because you want to be out of your comfort zone. So you've kind of signed up to this life. If you're here for personal development, you want to push. Imposter syndrome, chase it. Walk in that room. You feel like you don't fit in. Cool. How are you going to get away with this? How far are you going to push it? I want you to imagine you've got on the Manchester tram, the Altrincham to Manchester tram without your ticket. How are you going to get away with this one? How am I going to get through it? That's it. And once you've done it, you'll do it again. And you might even go a little bit further next time. And that first bit of imposter that you felt, you'll get comfortable in. So then we move on. And you feel like an imposter here. And I wonder if I can get away with this. How far can I push this without getting found out? Have you done it? Yeah, brill. How far can you go now? Now, I was speaking to somebody about a famous talk that was a couple of years ago. And it was an award ceremony, and two guys had set up a company. And this company had gone absolutely global, and they ended up at an award ceremony. And they're sat next to huge founders of companies, multi-millionaires, thousands of employees and whatnot. And these guys are sat there thinking, why the hell are we here? To the point where they didn't even get dressed for an awards dinner. They just put the trainers on because they thought it was just trainers and jeans. This is obviously a fluke. We shouldn't be here. Anyway, they're sat on this table with great big investors, great big companies, the Bill Gates style people. And he says to the guy next to him, I just feel like I don't belong here. And he says, me too. And that's great. And it's the idea that even when you reach the top, you are always going to feel like, how the hell did I do this? How have I got here? Great, fantastic. Keep going. There's always more to learn. You're never going to know everything. So focus on what you do know and what you can bring to that. So your imposter syndrome, chase it. The moment I feel comfortable, that's the moment I get worried because I'm not pushing anymore. I've got complacent. So what is imposter syndrome? How does it feel? Chase it. Breath work is another nice one for you that I'd love for you all to try today as well. If you're just sat still now, the moment you can get overwhelmed, remember personal development, you're pushing out of your comfort zone. We're making changes. We will get that repercussion. We'll get our bodies fighting back to start with because it's new. So when you're doing this breath work, I just want you to sit still for me. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Now, when you're breathing in, the lower part of your body should be expanding, not up here. This is clavicular. If you find yourself breathing up here or even getting thinner when you breathe in and squeezing in, that's called clavicular breathing. It isn't letting your diaphragm drop, and it's increasing a stress hormone. It's increasing the cortisol. So although you think you're breathing and doing mindfulness, really all you're doing is the shallow breathing and causing your body to become a little bit more stressed. So make sure that when you're breathing, hands on the lower belly, in through the nose, let the belly drop. We're talking like a Domino's and 4 beers kind of drop. So relax the belly, in through the nose, belly just fills up, hold it for a couple of seconds and just exhale on a, and when you're exhaling, that, much like a fairy liquid bottle, is coming in. Inhale, belly out, exhale, inhale through the nose, belly out, exhale. 2 more, in through the nose, belly out, exhale. We're just going to do 1 more through the nose, exhale. Can anybody feel the difference in how calm they are? So that's circularity breathing. It's an acting breathing technique. It's a singer's breathing technique. And it keeps the stress hormone, the cortisol, the endorphins. It just lets everything sit for a little bit. So if you're pushing out of your comfort zone, if you're about to walk into the gym for the first time, if you're about to have a difficult conversation, if you're about to press go live on your LinkedIn video, sit, breathe. While you're breathing, how good is it going to feel? When you've done this, when you've achieved this goal, how good is that going to feel? Just inhale and exhale. Let everything relax because we can get so stressed with everything that it becomes difficult. Inhale, exhale, really, really relax. Now, next one I've put is celebrate the wins. Now, this doesn't have to mean party poppers and party hats. However, this is why. When we're celebrating the wins, we are telling our body that we've done something well. So you've had a previous experience, and this is something we are going to be covering on the 25th when we look at mindset. You've had a previous experience and you've had an outcome. You've accepted that, you've repeated it. So whatever that might be in your personal development, whatever goal you're pushing, there's been a previous experience, there's been an outcome, you've accepted it, you've done it again. You're in the cycle. You are now in this cycle of what I call a feedback loop, where you do what you've done every day, you've got the same result. Yeah, cool, that's fine. I'm here. Right now, looking at that wheel of life, you've decided, I don't want that anymore. I don't want that feedback loop. So you're going to go with a new experience. There's going to be a positive outcome if we go through everything we've done. You're going to feel adrenaline. You're going to feel excitement and energy. Now, this bit is important. You want to repeat that. Why on earth would you repeat it unless you tell your mind it was great? You've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of doing this top one, the yellow boxes. Experience, outcome, accept, repeat. Experience, outcome, accept, repeat. That's the norm. And you've done all right. That's been fine. Now we're pushing out of that. We're doing a new experience. We're going to have a great outcome. You're going to feel adrenaline and excitement. And then you're just going to go, okay, that's fine. Well, then we're just back in the old format. So take a second, whatever it is, when you go back to that chart and you go step by step, when you take that first step, that was new. There was a positive outcome because you've moved forward. How do you feel about that? I can't believe I've done it. That was brilliant. I feel absolutely fantastic. Or, oh, okay, that was new. That went to plan. That didn't go to plan, but what did I learn? I'm starting to progress. I want you to sit in that idea, add the breath, or write it out. That felt mega. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. I can't believe I managed to do that. Yes, brain, you enjoyed that. I'm telling you, I'm constantly telling you, brain, that was really good because like a drug, we're going to want this again, okay? So you've got a constant feedback loop over here of experience, outcome, accept, repeat, experience, outcome, accept, repeat. We're saying no, no more, new experience. Okay, that was cool. Yeah, that felt really good. Oh, I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Therefore, I'm more likely to go again. If you go to the gym, you do a workout, you come home and you moan about it. Oh, I hated it. It was crap. It was busy. This happened, that happened. Why would you go tomorrow? Those things might have happened. It might have been busy. But you went, you did it and you hadn't done before. So I can't believe I did it. I actually went. It didn't go to plan, but I actually went. So next time it is going to go to plan. Feedback, create a positive feedback loop. And I want you to anchor that. So by anchoring, I mean, sit in it. How is it going to feel when you've achieved the goal? Anchor it. Really create an attachment to that feeling so that every time you go to that gym, you have that conversation, you walk in the office, you sit down in your new office for your own business or whatever it is. Every time you do that, every time you sit in that chair, the chair is success. So whatever it is, you're going to sit in that chair or walk in the office or wherever you are, and you're thinking success. The moment you swipe your gym card through the turnstiles or whatever it is, that motion is success. Now we're good to go. Anchor it to something tangible, because there are going to be days when you feel a little bit naff, where you're not really feeling up to it. So we're going to have to rely on something visual, some hard evidence, the chair, the card, whatever it is, sitting in the car, getting ready to go somewhere. Get in that car. This car means success. It means that I'm going to success. You feel naff, but get ready, get used to it. We've all got those nice tops, nice trousers, a good pair of shoes, a good pair of socks, where we put them on, we think, oh, comfort. So we want the same thing. You want something tangible that you can anchor that celebration to. And every time you put it on, you're ready. Maybe it might be a pair of earrings. You might sit down and think, right, I'm going to nail it today. Wear my earrings that mean I'm in business. I'm good to go. Get them on, get ready, anchor it, fake it, put them on, create that mindset and that body. Celebrate the wins. That is everything that I wanted to cover with you today. I'm going to stop the share. If you have got any questions, then we can pop them up. Please, please, please feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn. Let me know how you get on with this work. It's really, really important. Drop me an email. If you'd like the slides for this presentation, or I've got some ones with a few more blank spots in that you can actually fill in, drop me a message on LinkedIn and I'll send that over to you. I am always doing Monday mindsets on the Monday morning, 9:10, 20 minutes of looking at your goals for the week, getting you ready and overcoming any hurdles that might be coming up for that week. Feel free to come and join us on the Monday mindset at 9:10 on LinkedIn Live. And we also do a LinkedIn Live on a Wednesday, just talking about hot topics. It might be mindset, values, limiting beliefs, whatever that might be. Come over, come and say hi, come and see me. If I can help you in any way, again, I've been working with Heather and Murray through the Bruntwood project for a while. Some of you on this call, I'm sure I've done one-to-ones with, so please say hi, let me know. Let me stop this for you. It doesn't have to be, someone had said about the exercises in the segments. I'm just looking at your questions now. It doesn't have to be 8 segments at all. I just liked it to look symmetrical. It can be more, it can be less, it's whatever works for you. And how often do I recommend you repeat this exercise? Whenever you're ready for a change, whenever you're feeling slightly out of balance. So if there's something that you're doing in your life and you're feeling a little bit, something doesn't feel right, might be every couple of weeks you might think, oh, I feel a little bit in a funk. Let's go back. Let's just check it. It doesn't have to be so in depth, but it could be a case of, oh, something isn't feeling right. Maybe it's work. We all blame work. Oh yeah, work's all right. Work's rubbish. Work's this, work's that. Is it really work? Get your wheel of life out. It'll take you 5 minutes each segment. Well, do you know what? I haven't actually been to the gym. Well, there you go. There's a lot of, I've not been to the gym for a week. And that was used to be really important to me. Well, then your energy's down. How are you sleeping? Your nutrition. Have you been seeing friends? I've not met up with the guys. I've not gone out with the girls for a walk. I've not spent as much time with my other half. It might not be work. We just spend a lot of our day at work. So it kind of comes out there. So yeah, I would recommend repeating the exercise when you feel slightly in a funk or you feel like just a check-in. And again, you can choose whether you just do the wheel for a check or do the whole thing. And as I say, drop me a message. I'll send you the slides. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to hang around for a few seconds. If anybody does have any questions, if anyone wants to pop in the chat, if you would like any more information on any of the work I do or working one-to-one or in companies, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. If not, goodbye. Come and join us on the 25th. We're looking at values, mindset, business mindset, personal mindset. It's going to be a really, really good one. So I will see you on the 25th at 12 o'clock. Bruntwood website /spark where you can book that one. As I say, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Drop me a message. I want to say hi, and I'll send you the slides. See you later.